What's up guys? In today's video I'm going to teach you and I'm going to show you how to create an index bot with Python. The bot is going to be very simple. So yeah, let's get to that. First of all, I have to show you that the bot is in my GitHub. So you just have to come to Coba. Let's open this here. And you come to trading bot, MQL5 and Python. And here you have this folder which contains the bot. So yeah, here we have all the files that we are going to do right now. So yeah, what is the first step that we should do here? The first step is that we should configure MetaTrader 5. So here you come to MetaTrader 5 and you come to Tools, Options, and inside here you have to click two things. Allow algorithmic trading, and here you have to allow web requests for the following URLs. You have to add here localhost. You just click here and you just type localhost. I already have this, so I don't need that. But yeah, you just have to do that. So with these two things, we are ready to go. So what is the next step? We are going to open the Visual Studio Code, our project, and now we are going to start coding. So what is the first thing that we should start coding? The first thing that we should start coding is a class for the bot. So we are going to do this. We are going to call this bot.py, and inside here, let's put this with capital letters. Inside here, we are going to declare that class that I talked about. So let's call it bot. Okay, so what is the first step now? We have to create a constructor. So here we have to put def init. So every time we instantiate this class, we call this function. So now, what are we going to receive whenever we want to create a bot? First of all, we are going to receive the lotage, which is going to be a float. Then we are going to receive the time period. So this is going to be an integer. Let's put here time period. By the way, you have the explanation of each argument in the GitHub. So for example, let me come back to the GitHub. If we come here to the bot file, you can see that here I have the lotage, time period, and now the market. But here you have the explanation. So for example, lotage to be used in the bot, time period in the bot 1 minute 15 minutes in seconds, market to operate in. Okay, so you have more information here. So you should check this. So let's continue. Okay, we have the time period, which is going to be an integer, as we said. And now we have the market, which is going to be a simple string. Okay, now that we have this, we have to initialize several things. The first one is that this bot is going to work with threads. So how do we store these threads so later we can to close them, later we can close them correctly? How do we do this? We can create an attribute called threads, in which we are going to store a list that is going to contain the threads. So here I forgot that in every method of any class you have to put here self. So okay, now we have an attribute which is going to store a list of threads. Now we need a dictionary in which we are going to store the information shared between those threads, because I didn't tell you, but the threads are going to be the following. First one for taking the data from MetaTrader 5. A second one, another one to just open and close operations. So yeah, they need to share that data that is taken from one of the threads. So we are going to create a dictionary for that. So we are going to call this dictionary data, and it is going to be very simple. We are going to have only two things. Not O, let's put a 0 here, and none, and here a 1 and none. But what is this? We are going to have here a list that is going to contain, first of all, the close of a candle, of the actual candle. This is going to be the actual candle, and this is going to be the previous candle. And the first value here is going to be the close, and the second one is going to be the open. So yeah, let's leave it for now to none, because we are going to take that information later. But yeah, anyways, next things. Since we are going to use threads, we need an event to stop them. So how do we do this? Let's call this peel to kill threading dot event, and yeah, we need to import threading. I forgot, so let me put here import threading. Okay, and now we don't have any issues. And finally, we have to set a dictionary that is going to contain, and is also going to be shared to those threads. We need a dictionary to contain this. So let's create that. Let's call this trading data. And this trading data is a dictionary that contains the lotage. Let me put this here. The lotage, which is going to be at the beginning, the value of the lotage that we receive. The time period. Let's put here time period. And here we need to put this like this. And finally, we need the market. So we put here the market. So okay, we have finished initializing all the things we need for the bot to share from the threads, etc. So now we need to actually declare the functions, the methods that we are going to use in order to start those threads. So for example, we have here the thread candles, because this is going to be the thread that takes the candle. It doesn't receive anything apart from itself. And we are also going to have the thread orders, the one that is going to be managing orders. So let me put here pass. And here inside of thread candles, these two functions, by the way, are going to be ultra similar. So yeah, whatever. So what do we need to do? We need to actually start a thread. And how do we start a thread? First of all, let's declare this t variable in which we are going to store the thread. So here inside t, we are going to put, okay, threading, thread, I want a thread. And now I have to send two things. First of all, a target, which is a function. And second of all, we need arguments, which is a tuple. But since we don't have any function defined, we are not going to do this for now. We are going to do it later, but now we are not going to do it. So yeah, the next step is that we need to add this thread to that list that I talked about before. So later we can close the threads correctly. So yeah, let's do that. In order to do that, it's very simple. Threads, and you just put here append, and that's it. Append t. Okay, perfect. But we haven't started the thread. How do we do this? Simple. We are not simple here. We put here start, but it's very simple. So what is the next thing? Finally, we can put here just a print to say, hey, let's put info. Then now here, let's put this, and let's say thread candles started. Perfect. And now we just need to copy all these, because here it's actually the same, but really the same. Instead of candles, we put here orders, and that's it. The only difference is that here we will have a function, and here we will have another one. So what else do we have to do? We can put here, we need to kill the threads. And how do we kill the threads? Very simple. Let's create a function called kill threads that receives itself, because it's a method, not a function. And how do we kill the threads? You have to take into account, guys, that you have here the list of threads. So we can iterate through that list for e in self threads. And we can basically, first of all, we need to set the pill to kill, because we use this pill to kill in order to stop the thread. So we say self pill to kill set, and now the threads will stop. So now we have to take them so they are not zombies. So in order to do that, we are going to do here t join, and that's it. That's everything we have to do. And finally, we need a function to start the bot. Well, we need another thing, but yeah, this is not the last thing. So start. So how do we actually start the bot? Very simple. We have to start these two functions. We have to call these two methods. So how do we do this? It's as simple as putting here thread candles, we call that, and we call the thread orders. Since we are going to start with the candles, we are going to leave this commented, because yeah, we will do that later. So okay, we have the bot, but we need also a function that is going to be useful for the user. This function is going to be called wait. And what is going to do this function? Is going to say, hey, if you want to stop the bot, press enter. So in order to do that, it is as simple as putting here press enter to stop the bot. And here we put this. And now we call input. So the main thread, the thread of the bot, the main one, is going to be stopped here, waiting until the user puts an enter. So once the user puts an enter, we stop. The bot is finished. So here we have to say, okay, kill the threads. And finally, since we are going to use the MT5 library, we have to shut it down. But I have not imported that yet. So I have to put here import, well, let me put it here, MetaTrader 5. And this one is going to be as MT5. Perfect. So here we put MT5 shut down. So we close the connection. And we have basically finished with this thread. Well, not the thread, this file, the bot file. But yeah, we need several things. As I told you before, we need a file to load the candles, we need a file to load the orders. So yeah, as I said, let's just start with the one of candles. So here we are going to create a file called candles.py. So okay, it shouldn't be like all capital letters, but I did it this way, so yeah, let's leave it like that. We need to import several things, and remember that in this bot we are going to use sockets. So we are going to take actually the information from MetaTrader 5 by sending it through sockets. So this is going to be actually very cool. So in order to use that, we need to import socket. And since we are going to send the data in a different format, we need to also put here import JSON, because we are going to use the JSON format. So yeah, this will be for later. In this file, since we are going to use socket, it will be very useful to store the port like this. So here, the port, for example, can be like this one. And we actually need the address. So for example, if you use a different address, you can do it here and you can put it here. So for example, here you can put localhost. Perfect. So now we need to create a function to initialize this socket. So how do we do this? We can put here socket init, and inside this function, it's very simple. We have to create basically a server socket. Here, Python is going to be the server, and MetaTrader 5 is going to be the client, which is going to be sending information to the server. So how do we do this? We are going to create a variable, which is going to be the server socket. And in order to create the server socket, we just call socket.socket. And now we have to say, okay, address family. This is going to be IP version 4. So in order to put that, you just put here AF inet. Okay, perfect. And finally, we need to say which type of socket it is. UDP, TCP. We are going to use TCP. There are more types, but yeah, we are going to use just TCP. So here, in order to say TCP, we put sock string. If you want UDP, you just put sock dgram. But yeah, whatever. Okay, so now that we have this, we need to bind the socket to that direction. So how do we do this? We actually use the bind function. And this bind function receives a tuple, so be very careful. Inside here, you have to put a tuple with the address and the port. Perfect. And now we just have to listen. But how much do we listen? Okay, this is not server listen, this is server socket. And we put here listen. And we are going to say that we are going to have a queue of 10 elements. So for example, we listen for 10 elements, like we have a queue of 10 elements, and if we are not able to process those 10 elements, once we receive a new message, the queue is not going to take it, like the socket is not going to take it because the queue is full. But 10 is more than enough, so trust me, there are not going to be issues. So okay, now what we need to do is to accept connections. So we are going to use again the server socket, we are going to call accept, and this returns two things. So for example, it returns a connection that is going to be very useful and an address. The address is just going to be useful to print. So for example, let's say here that print, and this is going to be info. We put here info. This address, let's put here address, and we just are going to put hash, well, connected. connected, and that's it. Perfect. So now this function is going to return two things, the connection and the server socket. So we put return connection and the server socket, not like this, server socket. Perfect. So now we actually need to create the function that is going to take the information, the function that we are going to call here. So we are going to call this function def thread candles, because we are going to take candles information. So yeah, how do we start this function? First of all, we need a variable message, which is going to be the message that we receive from MetaTrader 5, but we also need to start the socket, the server socket. So we have to call this function. So we are going to put here socket ini, and again, what do we receive? We receive these two things. So here we are going to put this, okay? And finally, we need a main loop which is going to be working all the time until the user press enter, and at that time we set the pill to kill. So how do we do this? First of all, we are going to put while not, and here we need to receive the pill to kill, the stop event that we created. So we need to say that we are going to receive the stop event. So while the stop event is not set, so we put here stop event is set, well, not is set, so yeah, it's not set. We are going to first of all take the message from the socket, from the connection. So here we put message connection recv decode. So we decode the message. Perfect. But now we need to check one thing. Like, first of all, let's do something. Let's put here a print, a message, and we are going to print the message. Let's put this, so we know that we are printing this. Perfect. And let's try it. So for example, well, before trying it, I have to create the main file. So the main file is very simple. We are going to put here main.py, and here we just have to import from bot, import the class bot. Perfect. We need to import also MetaTrader 5 as MT5, and we need to initialize it, MT5 initialize. It's very sad that we don't have the shortcuts and all that highlighting for MT5, but yeah, whatever. So yeah, we initialize it, and now we have to actually create the bot. So here we put index bot is going to be equal to bot, and we need to set the lotage. I'm using this deriv broker, and the minimum lotage is 0.1. So here you just put 0.1, and here we are going to be in 1 minute chart. And remember that I told you that this, let me see if I can show it. The time period is in seconds. So here we just have to put 60 seconds, 60. And finally, we have to put the market, and which market is going to be. So for example, we are going to be not in the crash. Let's use the boom, because I did it in the boom, but yeah, the bot is very simple for both of them. So yeah, we use this market, and here you have to copy this string. But yeah, it's very simple. So here we just put boom 300 index. So yeah, with this we have started the bot, but now we have to use the functions that I told you that were useful for the user. So index bot start, and now index bot wait. Perfect. So this is enough for the main file, but we need to now send the information, because here we are taking the information, but we are not sending the information anywhere. So how do we do this? We have to create a client here inside MT5, but this seems very simple. I don't know MT5. Look, since this is not an MT5 tutorial, I'm not going to go very deep on how to create a client here. You just have to come to the IDE. As I click here, let me show you to you again. You click here, IDE. Now you click on new, expert advisor, next. We are going to call this index client. Perfect. Don't click any of this stuff. You just click on next and end. You take all this and you delete it. We are not going to take any of this. You have to come to my GitHub, and here you have the actual file in which you have the code. So here we have to take all this, and we come here and we copy it. First of all, you have here some like macros. Here you have the port. You have to check that this port is the same one you have here in the candles thread. So for example, here, this is not the same one. So we have to take this and we change it. Okay, perfect. We have here the direction, which is localhost because I'm in this computer. And look, MQL5 is very simple. Here I have a variable, it's like C. So here I'm just declaring a socket, here I'm declaring an array of candles, a list, and here this function is executed just when the bot starts. Just at that moment, when we start the bot, we execute this function. So we are basically setting the series of candles and we set the socket. Perfect. Here, we basically, this is the function for when the bot is closed. So I just close the connection and I just send a message end connection. That's it. And finally, here we have this function, which is the onTick function. On every tick, and by the way, this is a tick, you can check that the price is changing. On every change, because this is a tick, on every change, we send the information. This is why doing this in this way, sending the information with sockets, is very useful because you actually take all the ticks, all of them. So yeah, you take all that. We are just basically creating a string that is going to contain the JSON format for what I told you at the beginning of the video, and we are going to have the close and the open. This is the actual candle and this is the previous candle. So this is the actual candle and this is the previous one. So yeah, and you just have to come here, click on compile, you check that there is no error, and now what you have to do is that you have to start first this bot. So here you come to the terminal, and let's hope that I have not made any mistake. I forgot one thing. You have to come here and change this. You have to put, well, first of all, we have to import candles, and here we take candles.thread candles, and what does this function receive? So you remember that here we just set the stop event for now, because later we are going to use something else. So yeah, here we are going to put that. So this was self peel to kill. But remember, this is a tuple, and if you put this in this way, Python doesn't take it as a tuple. You just have to put here a comma. That's it. And I think that now we are truly ready to go. So we put here Python main.py, and okay, it seems that everything is fine. But now we need to start this bot, the other one, the client. So how do we do this? You come here and you just double click on index client and yeah, accept. And you see this here. This seems that it's working fine. You come to here to expert and you should have a message like this, connection established. If you have this message, perfect. Okay, so now we are sending information. So let's come back here and we can see that we are actually receiving that information. So here we have the close of the actual candle and we have the open of that candle. We have the close of the previous candle and the open of that candle. But this is a string, and we don't want this as a string. We want it as a dictionary with floats and all those values. So how do we do this? It's very simple. Remember, in order to close the bot, you just press enter. You press enter and the bot stops. And here you should come here, right click, and delete or whatever it says. But yeah, you delete the bot from here. So now what we have to do, let me hide this, is to load this message. So how do we actually do this? Very simple. Let's put this in a try-catch code, because this may be, well, there may be an exception. So yeah, let's put here try except, and here we are going to have an auxiliary variable. So let's put here aux, in which we are going to load all the information. In order to transform this string to to a dictionary, you just have to use this function, JSON load. So JSON load, well, loads, and here you just send the string message. Perfect. So now that we have this, we need to actually update this, dictionary, this one. So we need to send this as well. So we come here and we send the self.data. Perfect. And here we actually are going to do this. We are going to put here that we receive the data as well. And we say, okay, data. And since the key is a string, we are going to put here a 0. And let me copy all this data. 1 is going to be equal to aux0 and aux1. And you may be wondering, hey, why don't you just load the information inside the data dictionary? I tried and it doesn't work. So in this way it works. So yeah, we leave it like that. Look, and in case there is any error, we are going to put print. This is not an info, this is going to be error. Let me put this right, okay. Error, and here we say error taking the candles information. Okay, so once this happens, we go out from the loop, but once the stop event is set, we also go out from the loop. So how do we do this? Well, it's a break, but yeah. Now what we need to do is to close the connection and all that. So we put here connection.close, and here server socket.close. Here I have more ends, and yeah, that's fine. So perfect, we are almost there. This candles thread is finished, but we need to try it. So here, what we are going to put is print data. So we are going to check if we are actually taking the information and transforming the information in a right way. So here we open this terminal again, and we are going to execute this. Okay, the terminal is broken, but whatever. And here we are going to load the index client again. So okay, connection established. Remember, if you see this, everything is fine. And yeah, you can see that the prints are the same. So we are going well, like this is working fine. So we can stop the bot, remember, press enter. And now we can stop this bot as well. And yeah, let's remove this. And okay, let's continue. What do we have to do now? We have to create that orders thread. So we are going to start by coming here and putting orders.py. Okay, perfect. Here we are going to import several things. So we are going to import MetaTrader 5 as MT5, and here we are going to import as well date time. We are going to use this date time later. We need to set some macros. First one, we need to say candles between operations. This macro is going to be very useful because we are going to say, okay, if you open an operation here, don't open it here or in the same candle. No, wait until, for example, 1, 2, 3, three candles have passed. So yeah, that is going to be very useful. We are also going to define the stop loss, and for example, here look, the bot is going to be ultra very simple. So we are just going to, for example, if the previous candle is a boom, we are going to open operation and we are going to take, for example, let's say 10,000 points. So yeah, here we have to set that the take profit is going to be 10,000 points. But if it goes up again, let's put here a stop loss. Well, that you know that with this, the stop loss doesn't work well, because imagine that you are here and you put a stop loss here. No, the operation is going to be closed here because that's how the boom works. Because there is not a tick that goes, no, it's like boom, boom. So yeah. But anyways, we are going to put a stop loss. We put it like 5,000 points. Okay. So now we need to define again another thread function. So we are going to call this def thread orders. And what are we going to receive here? we are going to receive the stop event, we are going to receive the data, and we are also going to receive the trading data, the information, because in order to know how much does a candle, how many seconds does a candle have, we need to receive that data. And in order to open operations, we need to receive the market and the lottage. So yeah, that is in the trading data. Perfect. So here, what is the first thing that we need to do? First, you declare a variable called last operation time, and let's put it to 0. So we know the time in which an operation was open, and we can check that with this. So yeah, now we need to declare an epoch. So here, look, I'm just going to put the typical epochs that everyone puts, and this is datetime again, and you just have to put 1971. This is the year, the month, the day, now the hour, the minute, and the second. Perfect. So we have this. Now we need to do one important thing, which is wait for the candle thread, because if the candle thread has not started, we cannot open operations based on the information that is not loaded. This is going to give us an error. So what we have to do is to put here while data, we take the 0, is none, or data, we take the 1, is none. We are actually going to pass. We are not going to do anything. We are just going to wait. Like this is an active wait. But once this has finished, we are going to put an information saying that, hey, this has finished, all loaded. So here we are going to put orders working. Like this. Perfect. But now we need that loop that we did here in candles, which is this one. While the stop event is not set, we are going to do something. So first of all, we need to take the current time. So here we are going to put current time, and we are actually going to do something. Okay, you are going to call datetime now, and we are going to subtract this, the epoch. So now we are going to have the seconds here. So, well, we are not going to have the seconds, we have a datetime, but we want the seconds. So we are going to use that format, the UTC format. So we do this subtraction, and we just say here, okay, give me the total seconds. Perfect. But now I want an integer because this returns a float. So here, it is as simple as doing a cast to int. Okay, so now we have the current time. Perfect. We are going to put now the condition in order to open an operation. What did we say? If the previous candle is a boom, we are going to open that. We have the previous candle, and we have this the next information. We have the open and the close. So the close has to be above the open in order to say that this candle is a boom. So yeah, if data, and we're going to put here the previous one, which is the 1, the 0 element was the close. So if the close is bigger than the open, we would here a 1, then we do several things, but we need to add more conditions here. So we said that we are not going to be opening operations like this. So we need to check that, okay, is the current time bigger than the last operation time? Not this. Last operation time plus the trading data we are going to take from here. Okay, put it something wrong. Plus the trading data. We take the time period. Let's put it with this. Yeah. Time period by the number of candles between operations that we want. So if this is bigger, we are going to open the operation. Okay, so we have finished with the conditions. What we have to do now here is say, okay, last operation time is going to be equal to the current time, so we don't open later a new operation, and we have to call the function open position. So here we need to send the trading data, but we actually just need to send the market, well, and the lottage. trading data market, and here we are going to take this because we need to send the lotage as well. The lotage. Perfect. And we are actually going to delete these things and put this. Perfect. And we need to set to send the type of operation that we are going to send. Again, this is very simple. We are going to send a cell operation. Well, we are going to open here a cell operation. So here we are going to use the MT5 and say order type cell. Perfect. So let's create this function. Here we are going to put open position, and yeah, we are going to send here the market, which is going to be a string. We are going to send here the lotage, which is going to be a float, and finally the type operation. We are always going to open cell operations, so here we are not going to do very much. The only thing that we need to do is that, look, you have to come here to Google Chrome, and look, we are going to use the example that MetaTrader 5 gives you. So for example, we are going to put here MT5 Python order send. It's very simple. So look, the documentation of this is amazing because you have all the information that you need. So here also you have an example, and we are actually going to use this example. So you have to take the information from here, and let me see if I can take everything, and actually we are going to take it until here. Perfect. And look, it's just copying that, putting it here. We are going to indentate this, but yeah, we have to change several things, but this is actually what we have to do, like it's already done. We are going to remove also some things because, for example, here we don't need all this. For example, we just need all this because we want to know the red code. Here we can put error and this, but yeah, here we can put, instead of this, info. But look, MetaTrader 5 gives you all the information now. So we need to put several things. Here you can see that hey is saying, hey, what is symbol? It doesn't exist. So here we have to change that to market because it's the thing that we receive, and here instead of lot is lotage. Perfect. So here this is the same, lotage and market, and yeah, what we have to change is the stop loss and the take profit. That is the thing that we have to change. Here again, this is not symbol, is market, and yeah, since it is a sell operation, we need to take the bid, but yeah. So we need to define the stop loss and the take profit. So we are going to define these variables, SL, which is going to be the stop loss, and we just have to take the current price minus the stop loss by the value of a point. So here we put that point. Perfect. The take profit is going to be the same, price plus, well, is the other way around since it is a sell. So this has a plus, and here this has a minus. We put here take profit and the value of a point, and that's it. That's basically it. So yeah, we are going to put here SL, and we are going to put here TP. So I think that we have already finished, and I realized that yeah, this is going to take a lot of time until we see a boom. Like maybe we have now one, but yeah, instead of waiting for a boom, what we are going to do is on every sell candle, and you can see that there are a lot. So yeah, so we are going to put this, and now we can actually try the bot, the entire bot, and see if everything works. So here we put, instead of candles, we are going to put here it was orders. We have to import orders. Orders, perfect. And here we put orders dot thread orders, and we have to send all this information plus the trading data. Perfect. Trading, self-trading data, trading data. Okay, we are almost there. So now let's start this. Okay, there are no issues, and here we need to open this. Perfect. And okay, everything is looking fine. Okay, this, I copied this by mistake. But yeah, we are not, oh, okay, I know why, because here I forgot to uncomment this. So, okay, we close the boat, remember, press enter, and here, you just click on, yeah, delete. So, let's go again, Python main, okay, and now, index client. Perfect, connection established. Let's see if there is any error. Okay, I didn't save the file, I'm very intelligent. So, yeah. Let's close this again, and look, the third time is always the best time. At the third time, everything works fine. So we put this, and let me come back here. Index client, okay, connection established, and yeah, everything is working fine. Okay, we have an error, which is order sent failed, and we have this red code. I think this is the order filling. Yeah, this is the order filling, but I'm going to show you how to debug these errors. So you take this and you just go to Google and you just type here red code MT5 Python. And here you will have, look, discussions, but there is a page with all the things, but yeah. You can come here and you can see that this is, what does it mean? Documentation constant. Yeah, is the order type filling. No, not this. High invalid order filling type. Yeah, so here I think that you have all, this is the page. So you have everything. So here we have this invalid order filling type. So how do we change this? This is very important, guys. This depends on your broker. One broker has one thing, another broker has another thing. So what I recommend you is just trying. So for example, I know that for the broker that I use, I just have to put here order filling fog or something like that. Yeah, this one. So I know that this works, but for example, for you, it may work another one. But look, there are not many. It's just 3. So just try the one, just try them all, and you can check later what happens. So yeah, let's put here fog, let's save, let's close this. And here, let's now do this. And look, now we have a boom. So this is going to take a little bit of time. So yeah, Python main. We send the information. And now, if everything works fine, we shouldn't open an operation, okay? This opened an operation. Now the red code is 1016. So again, we come here to this page and let's check this. Invalid stops in the request. This is because the stops are very small. So look, we are going to put here 15,000. So yeah. Okay, we are going to stop this again. And now we are going to put this. Okay. We put the index client, accept. Okay, let's see. Okay. Now the orders are fine and we are not opening a position because the previous candle is a boom. So we have to wait until the previous candle is not a boom so we can check if it is actually opening a position. So yeah, let's wait until that. Let's see how much. Okay, now with Windows 11 we cannot see the seconds. I hate that. But yeah, whatever. Let me check in my other computer because, okay, 10 seconds. So in 10 seconds we are going to have a new candle and we should open a new position. Why? Because this candle is going to be the previous one and it is not a boom. So yeah, let's check that. Okay, so no position was opened, order failed. Oh my god. Here we are going to put, oh wow, I think I know. Okay, I know what is happening, and is that here, no, okay, I don't know what is happening. Let's put here 15,000. So yeah, sorry guys. But yeah, whatever. Main.py. Let's close this. Oh my god, close this. And let's open this again. Connection established. Okay, so I know what is happening, and is that I'm trying to open a buy operation when this is a sell. So here I forgot to change this. So let's put here type operation. And yeah, now everything should work. So we close the bot. We put this. Now again, there's another boom. And look, since this is a boom and I don't want to wait all the time, let's put this here. We are going to put this. If the previous one is a boom, we are going to open a sell position. So we click here in main.py, and here we have to set the index client. So now the previous one is not a boom, but now it is, and finally we have opened a position. So here you can check this. Info, order sent by boom 300, 0. Yeah, everything is working fine finally. So yeah guys, that is how you create an index bot with Python. You can see that it's very simple, and this video is very similar to the MACD one that I did, the RSI one, which is I think the previous video of the channel. So yeah, it's very simple. So if you understood the video, you liked it, give it a like, share, subscribe, and look, do not hesitate on commenting, sending me an email if you have any question. I'm going to build, I'm going to create a course on this, but first it will be in English, and yeah, this course is going to be very complete. So yeah, stay tuned for that if you want that course. But yeah, I want it to be available for everyone, so I'm not going to put a crazy price, because prices with these things are really crazy, like 2,000 euros, and no. It is going to be like very cheap, like when I say very cheap. So yeah, I hope you understood the video. Give it a like, share, subscribe, and see you in the next one.